You are live.
Welcome to the best sports betting show on the planet. This is WagerTalk Today, and I am your host, Andy Lang. It is Monday. We're going to start the week strong. We've got some MLB. We're seeing the ripple effect of the betting legislation, and we're going to talk with Krackman about that. We're going to go over bankroll management. I'll walk through my bankroll. We had another really nice winning week, so I'll go over that towards the end of the show. We're going to talk the Saints. Yes, the New Orleans Saints season win total, 5.5. Dan and I will break that one down. So Bryan Power is going to join us to talk Twins and Dodgers. Krackman's going to give us an MLB prop. We'll talk about some of that sports betting legislation. But first, we always start with our good friend Gianni. And we're going to talk a little bit of the Steam report. So, guys, while we're watching, hit that like button, please. Really helps us out. And I believe we're like 50 people away from 210,000. So if you haven't joined the Wager Talk family on YouTube, come on. 210,000 people can't be wrong. Subscribe to the channel. Helps us out. Helps your bankroll out as well. Gianni, good morning. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. I know it's a little bit slow for the Steam report this morning, correct?
It is. Good morning, brother. Yeah, I ended up having a losing UFC card on Saturday. 5% went down. Those are rare to go down, but it happens. But I did pick up a little bit over 10 units over the last 7 days. So overall, big picture looks good. And we started on the week, like you said, it's a slow week, but we do have a good UFC card. I already fired 2 bets myself. Don't know if you dived in, but I was getting right back on that horse. I also have a tennis premium play up at WagerTalk for free. That's on the free picks page. It's a 3% play. It's a plus 250 dog. Again, we're going to throw those tickets out even when we're running hot, probably about 65% of the time. So if you're not comfortable doing that, you probably should wait for the favorites. But yeah, we took a plus 250 dog in tennis. That's available for free. And a couple sides and totals real quickly in Major League Baseball. A few of the sides that got hit already. 904 Washington plus 115. 902 Miami minus 130. 914 Tampa Bay minus 200. 924 Cubbies minus 135. And Minnesota at plus 175, game 929. A few totals real quickly. 905 over 9 up to minus 130. San Fran Atlanta. 920 under 8.5 up to minus 130. Boston Philadelphia. 926 over 7 at plus money. Milwaukee Seattle. And 928 under 9 up to minus 110. Houston, Arizona. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I was on Holloway, man. Fortunately, the TV bet it remains winning. Those have been on fire. But when the dust settled, I ended up having an overall losing card. And it was a money-making card. I mean, there was, 4 out of the 5 main card fights. The underdog got the money. So there was a lot of opportunity to make some cash. I hope you guys did some damage. Again, a couple of those fights didn't go my way. That cost me. But overall, can't complain as we're trying to do some baseball damage as we await football.
Gianni, I got to tell you, one of the best money-making things that's been working for us this year is live UFC betting.
Oh, yeah.
I have made 10 times the amount of money live betting. And I will tell you, our job could be really easy if we just bet on UFC fighters retiring. If that's all we did, bet against the retiring fighter, we'd be good. I watched Dustin walk out, and he just started crying, and I was like, "Oh, this is a wrap. Come on, you can't be crying before a fight and expect to win." We bet big against Adam Fugit once we watched him look horrible at weigh-ins, and then again at face-offs, and then the next day. So there's something about this live looking at fighters and getting a feel for them that has been working really good. Kevin Holland was the big loser for me. He laid a complete egg against D-Rod. But yeah.
He got so much sharp money, bro. They were not just betting him to win the fight, and they steamed it up. They were betting him to win inside the distance. Like sharp money betting him to win inside the distance. Sharp money betting him to win by submission.
Yes.
Like they really had him isolated in multiple bets to win that fight against D-Rod. Yeah, that cost a lot of sharp bettors cash on Holland. And again, trusting Holland is a favorite.
Yeah, UFC's got a big problem. I want to get your thoughts on this later on this week, but UFC's got a big problem on some of these pay-per-views where the undercard is just way better, like way better content. But that's for another day. Let's talk a little bit of baseball. A couple of those lines that you mentioned that moved. Yeah, I thought an interesting one was I look like Oakland is getting a little bit of money, and I looked this up. Did you know Oakland's much better on the road than at home? And then or I'm sorry, not Oakland, the Athletics. But then it makes sense.
Exactly.
What is their
they
home?
Don't have a home
what
field.
is their home? Like, so I was looking at the Athletics going, oh, that makes sense. They're better on the road than they are at
can
home.
I answer this question? Because it's a beautiful question by Andrew. Sure. And he's asking, Gianni, did I have a write-up for the 5%? And no, I don't add the write-ups to the plays. I just don't have time. I give out enough volume. It just would be impossible for me to write a write-up for each and every one of those plays. But I think I share my reasoning more than enough throughout a week. And I do multiple shows. I do podcasts. I spoke about that fight at length and the reason why I like that particular fighter. But more importantly, the reason I made it a 5% and the market proved me to be right is because I thought we were getting the best of it. And that's my job. My job is to find inefficient lines. That's it. I can't predict the outcome. Like, you can't do that. There's not a single person amongst us that could predict outcomes. If you can do that, this is the wrong business you're in. There's so many other predictions you can make that make a lot more money than if you could predict sporting event outcomes. That's not what the job is to be profitable. The job to be profitable is to find inefficient numbers. And the reason it was a 5% play is because I got myself and my subscribers down at plus 150. And about 6 hours before the fight, the best you could get on him was plus 115. That is a great bet. I can't control the outcome. That's exactly what a 5% bet should look like, that we absolutely destroy the market. We get out ahead of the market. We're correct on our pricing, but then everything else has to happen as well. The fighter's got to do his job. The ref's got to do his job. The corner's got to do their job. The judges got to do their jobs. I can't control any of that. But what I can control is that number right or is it wrong? And if I bet it at plus 150 and it goes off at plus 110, then the job that I do to make money was accomplished. Again, if I do that over and over and over again, I'm a mathematical certainty to be profitable over time. But in the short term, I can't control that randomness of a bad call, of a fighter just waking up with a headache that day, getting pissed with his girlfriend. Like, those are things you can't control. But what you can control is, what did I bet it at? What's the number now? Did I beat the market? That's the job. And like I said, the 5%, it lost, but we got a good number. And that's what I try to do over and over again.
What's your favorite move?
That's what the 5% should do. Like, if I gave a plus 150 and before the fight he went off at plus 180, that was a terrible bet. Even if he won, that's when you should come back and be like, bro, how can you give out a plus 150 for a 5%? And I could have got plus 180 the day of the fight. It won, but I got a worse number by listening to you. You got to be able to separate yourself from that thinking in the short term. That's the key to doing this profitable like that, because we all want that short-term gratification. That's the enemy of all of us.
What's your favorite move in baseball today? Which one do you agree with the most? Is it total? Is it a side? I thought one of the totals was pretty good. You got a couple of pitchers, I believe, with ERAs. Yeah, the Giants and Braves. You got a starting pitcher with 4.1, another with 5.6 ERA. I thought that one made the most sense. Anyone you'd like more?
I like
than
Washington at home. I think that's a coin flip at worst. Obviously, the opener was better, but I don't think that team should be a dog to Cincinnati at home. I think that's live. I leaned also Miami a little bit. I worry about Miami's bullpen. That's the only problem betting a team like that. And the totals really fast. Would I go under 920, 926? I'd probably go under Houston, Arizona. That 9. That key 9.
I like it. You mentioned UFC coming up this weekend. Yeah, I write my article for WagerTalk on Sundays, so I've already gone through all of them. There was a play I really liked. I was like, oh, I really like Budai to lose to this grappler, and then I wake up and it moved $2 overnight. $2.
That's why I sent out a 5% yesterday, Andy. I sent it out right away. I'm like, I think the line's going to move in my favor. I haven't checked to see if it does yet, but I gave a 5% play and a 4% play. The 5% is a really good price, I thought, and the 4%, I think it's going to get a lot more chalky than we laid. I think we laid like minus 180. I don't think it closed below 200.
One of my favorite plays, the line's moving in the opposite direction, so I'm not putting it out
Just
yet.
wait.
I'm just waiting and waiting. It's kind of like betting Holloway. Like when we were doing our live show, we were like, hey, listen, money's going to keep coming in on Dustin all night long, so let's just wait if you're going to play Holloway. And then we played it right before the fight, try and grab the better of the number. So, all right, so not much going on in baseball. Hey, we don't have to force anything. That's a beautiful thing. We can wake up and we can play as many plays as we want. We can lay off.
Be selective.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you have up for today on Monday for clients, Gianni?
All right. The UFC for Saturday, Abu Dhabi card is already up. Like I said, there's a 5% play in there. There's a 4% play in there. Still over 70% on 5% play. Still up about, 45 plus units on those in UFC. So excited for that. There's 2 plays in there. Baseball card will be up. Like I say, I always wait for 10 a.m. our time within 45 minutes to wait to see what the guys from up north bet. And baseball will be there as well. And I'll just keep adding to the futures package. We got NFL, we got college football. There's 5 college football futures in there, 2 NFL futures in there, including a 5% play. So let's do some damage.
Gianni The Greek, everyone, thank you so much for joining us, Gianni.
Let's
have another big week. Let's Let's bring in I see where Krackman is. Let's bring in Krackman, and then we'll go to all around the world. Don't bet and drive, Crack. What's going on?
I am pulled over. Can you guys hear me on this? I can change it over to my headset. If not,
I think you're pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So first, yes. How was your
I'm down in
weekend?
Myrtle Beach. As you can see, you're on the beach here, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's a rare time I get it. All-Star break usually go away for a week or so. But yeah, so I'm away for a little bit, but I'm actually flying back to Vegas today. So, yes, I don't stop though. I don't stop. Like summer league stuff comes in like last minute. It's all based on lineups and information, and so I don't stop, even though it is All-Star break. To be real blunt, if I knew how good the summer league was going to be, which I've never lost playing it, but if I knew how good it was going to be, I probably would have stayed in Vegas and terrorized those bookmakers too. So, but I'm glad for the clients. I'm glad for people out there. Baseball's been good. Great July going. I hope to keep it going. But yeah, so everything's all right. How about you guys?
We're doing good. I know you're busy. We want to get an MLB prop from you if we could, and then I want to get your thoughts on we're seeing the ripple effects of this legislation. We're seeing
terrible.
Yeah, it's getting bad. And then of course, Eric wants to know what's your favorite restaurant in Myrtle Beach. Let's start with the MLB prop. Let's give some people some action.
Brandon Woodruff on the Brewers, total strikeouts over 5.5, minus $1.40. Woodruff has great stuff in his first 2 starts this season, coming off an injury. After coming off the injury, so 70 pitches in his first game with 8 strikeouts, then 81 the second game with 10 Ks. He should be off restriction, facing a Mariners team that's never really seen him. So, and they ranked 11th actually in strikeout rate. So over 5.5, minus $1.40. I also seen over 6.5 plus $1.15. And I don't mind. I'd rather take the 5.5 situationally. But sometimes when you take juice back, there is a number that you'd actually take the 6.5 back. I have no problem you take it over plus money also. So there's a prop for today. It's the reason why the prop market is so beatable is because they just don't have this information that they just throw up all props based on a generalization. And when you specialize in props like my team, this is why you get the advantages of being coming along for the ride. So there's one there. Some great stuff going on. Like I said, this month, looking forward to, of course, I said preseason, regular season, but yeah, as far as that, that's in Illinois. Am I right, Andy? That new rule again?
Yeah. So now what they're doing is they're putting in minimum amount of bet. You got to bet $2 at Hard Rock, $2.50 at BetMGM, 25 cents per wager on the operator's first 20 million bets, then 50 cents per bet after that. Last year they imposed 15% tax on operators. So basically you're looking at 20 to 40% taxes from when they started, and now 25 or 50 cents per wager. It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't blame the sports books. I guess I have to blame the government. They just think that the margins are a lot wider than they are. You have people voting on bills and voting on these laws that never placed a bet in their life. They don't gamble. They don't know anything what's going on in the industry. So the operators have passed along these fees. Listen, to be blunt, I say I don't blame them. They don't have to do it because they make so much money, but the tax has went up from like 15% to like 40. Some of the states charge 50% in taxes, and it really is. It's just branding. When you get to that point, you're just branding your sports book, branding your company. Even though New York, the highest taxed and regulated state, is the sports betting capital of the United States. People don't know that. That's how much volume they do there. But I kind of understand how they pass it along, but I don't. I just, they make minimums go up, minimum bet size and stuff. Of course, I'm against it. I'm for Joe Public. I don't want Joe to be betting parlays and betting sucker bets as it is. So I try to preach. All safe and responsible gambling. I'm down here, like I said, in Myrtle Beach. I have my friend's son is 17 years old. There's gambling everywhere. It's not even legal in this state, and there's gambling everywhere. So these kids just think it's so easy. They see FanDuel, DraftKings, all the companies on air and promoting with their great all-star, promotional cast of stars and athletes, and say, "Oh, this is so cool." And listen, like I said many times on many platforms, every college in America has a gambling problem. Last week, Frank Caliendo came up to me. He's a comedian. He was on NFL Today a lot, with Terry Bradshaw and those guys. And he came. I didn't know who he was because he's doing so great. He lost like 70 pounds. But he listens to one of my shows, my Fox show, and we sat down and actually had lunch together. And his son goes to Arizona State University. He knows more about the gambling and his friends, and he used the word degenerate before I did. He used the word bots, betting with bots. I was like blown away. A 21-year-old kid. He's going to be 21. He knows more about these. It's exactly what I said. It's sports betting is everywhere. So I try to teach responsible and safe gambling to the people. I know it because I was a little degenerate gambler growing up on the Jersey Shore. Grew up in a boardwalk town when I was a kid, going crazy, betting parlays, betting everything, and going broke many times before someone shook me and showed me the right way. Prop bets, money management. There's so many videos up on WagerTalk where I've talked about this. Sorry, Andy, I can go on forever. I apologize.
No, you're fine. The audio's cutting out, so is your video, so we're going to have to let you go. We want you to be safe on the road. I'm going to promote you, so have a great day. Okay. Enjoy Myrtle, and safe travels. Krackman, so, listen, hey, the man is never going to miss his spot, regardless of where he's at. So we appreciate the passion. So, check out Krackman. Summer League's going well for him. Baseball's going well for him as well. You get all of his plays, and these are, again, plays that he bets with his own money. So when he puts out a play, rest assured he's got money on it. So one of the best in the business. So thank you, Krackman. Always enjoy talking to you. And yes, next week we'll get his thoughts on some restaurants. So, all right, let's go all around the world. Let's do some free plays here. Last week I had my highs and my lows. My low was when I said, hey, let's just bet the Rockies to not win a series. And then they promptly won their first home series of the entire season. But the high was I nailed every single play on the Open Championship. So let's get the week started off right here. We're going to Ralph Michaels, and we're going to do Nerfy in the Twins at the Dodgers, which is going to be interesting because Bryan Power is going to talk about this one. Ralph says Dodgers 7-0 Nerfy run. Scored a first inning run once in the last 10 games. Twins are on a 6-1 Nerfy run. And Ohtani, 4 straight games, not allowing a first inning run. The Ryder Cup, USA sits at -145. I watched the Open Championship. And I've been to the course that they're going to play at, Bethpage Black. It really sets up well for the U.S. guys. Scheffler's the best in the world. Bryson DeChambeau is a top 3 guy. Schauffele's getting into form. And they just played in Europe, and the top 4 guys were all American. I think money's going to come in on the U.S. the closer we get to the Ryder Cup. I'm actually going to try and make it out there and go to that one. If my buddy can get tickets, he lives right down there from Bethpage. But looking at the length of Bethpage and looking at some of the guys that we got on the U.S. team, I think the length is going to be a problem for a lot of the European guys. And then we're going to look at the Brewers and the Mariners over 6.5. Kirby's been really good, but as Ben Burns points out, he's 1-4 with a 4.99 ERA in evening games. And Woodruff's last start, that game finished 6-5. This is a very, very low total, and both teams have been solid at the plate. So we're looking at the Twins at the Dodgers, Nerfy, the Ryder Cup, USA minus 145, and the Brewers at the Mariners over 6.5. All right, let's bring on Bryan Power. We're going to talk the Twins and the Dodgers here. Bryan, how are you? Of course, when Ohtani pitches, we have to do a segment on it. You were lucky enough to be on here. So we got Festa going for the Twins, Ohtani for the Dodgers. The Twins just lost a series to the Rockies. first home series win this season for Colorado. So what's your take here on the Twins and the Dodgers?
Well, my take is, Andy, obviously, look, the Dodgers right now are kind of at their low point of the season. They just got, you talk about what happened to the Twins in Colorado. Let's not bury the lead here. The Dodgers just got swept at home by the Brewers. Their second time being swept by the Brewers this season, going back to before the break. They've dropped 10 of 12 overall, has LA. So a really tough team to back on the money line here, obviously, especially because even though the money has been coming in on the Twins this morning, I mean, we've seen this line just drop as I look at the odds screen. They're still, minus 170 on the money line, the Dodgers. So, I'm not running to bet them. Now, as you pointed out, Ohtani starting for the Dodgers tonight, I started looking for alternative ways that maybe we could bet LA here, because I'm not crazy about this Twins team. I think they could be sellers as we approach the deadline. I think, enthusiasm there could be at a low, and there's not much to like. But with Ohtani starting for the Dodgers, it had me considering, all right, well, maybe do we look at the Dodgers in just the first 5 innings on the run line? But even then, still, minus 130 to lay half a run. I'm like, yeah, it's not great. So I came up with this for everybody. Talked about it on the Power 5 this morning as well. Let's focus on the Dodgers offense. Even in defeat yesterday, they put up 5 runs. And they put up 7 runs on Saturday in a loss. This is the highest scoring home team in all of baseball at 5.8 runs per game. I think you and I have talked about this before on the show, Andy, maybe a couple of weeks ago in a larger discussion of team totals. I said,
yes,
hey,
we did.
When you have these teams like the Dodgers that are big favorites and you don't want to play that, you look at their team total, because again, the Dodgers, they average 5.8 runs per game at home. And you mentioned Festa starting for Minnesota. Well, on the road this year, Festa's ERA is 6.68. The Twins bullpen, so after Festa's out of there, the Twins bullpen, bottom 10 in ERA. I know Freddie Freeman's unlikely to play tonight. He took one on the wrist in yesterday's game, but I still like the Dodgers to go over their team total of 4.5. I think from a price perspective, it is the best way to approach this game.
Yeah, I love the team totals. I really do. And this is a perfect segue. So just a couple years ago, I started officially playing college football plays. That's all I do is team totals. And I just do one a week. And it works absolutely fantastic. I don't... Do you know why team totals just work so much better in certain sports? Is it just because it's less to handicap? Is there less variables? Is there less craziness that can happen? I can't really put my finger on it, but I just know the proof's in the pudding. When I do college football, I'm doing team totals.
For me, it's always a case-by-case basis. I will point out that my first 5% baseball play of the season was a team total on the A's. And when I look on this, when I look at this particular matchup, what I'm saying is, look, you have to look at it both ways. If the Dodgers, if they can't get it figured out, if they're losing, they're getting 9 at-bats. And that helped yesterday. On the Power 5 for yesterday, I said to bet the Dodgers over 4.5 against Milwaukee. They did not get that 5th run until the 9th inning. Okay, so it was a bit of a sweat. But here's on the flip side is if they do get it figured out, if they do turn it around, well, guess what? They're probably going to go over this number inside of 8 innings as well. I know you brought up the Nerfy earlier in the All Around the World segment. Hey, that's the beauty of it. We got 8 or 9 innings. They don't need to score them all in the first inning. So there we go. That's what I like. Again, number 1, the Dodgers are in scoring at home, 5.8 runs per game. So over 4.5 doesn't sound too bad for me.
Is that something you blind bet every game with them averaging so much, or do you really take into account the pitching? Because I'm wondering, hey, is the pitching baked into the line? Like, are they just going to set it at 4.5 and then it's plus 120 against somebody and then minus 140 against somebody else?
Yeah, I hate, but when it's 5.5, obviously I don't get involved there. That's too. I mean, that takes a lot, especially if you are talking about a situation where they may only come up to bat for 8 innings. But look, I mentioned the other part of it. You're right. You have to consider the pitcher. Festa is not good, especially on the road. Like I mentioned, that 6.68 ERA. So it's just look. It's rare that there's value in betting the Dodgers on the money line, right, Andy? I mean, look at this. They've lost 10 of 12. They just get swept, and they open north of minus 200. I'm not going to come on here and tell the people to bet the Dodgers on the money line here. That's no fun. So, and long term, it's not profitable to bet favorites of that size in Major League Baseball. So, again, team total, I think I wanted to find a way to get that price down. Because they're not going to keep on going losing forever, guys. They're just not. This is still a team. I know people are going to people get upset when I bring up my power ratings, but they're still number one in my power ratings, the Dodgers, despite this mid-season swoon. I think they turn it around, though, moving forward.
Love it. So, Brian, we've got a new college football show that is coming up. Tell everyone about that. I'm excited for it. I'll make a few appearances on there just to talk team totals, but tell us about our new show, The Blitz.
Yes, so happy to announce this fall I will be hosting a live weekly college football show here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, and it is called The Blitz, 1 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. So following you, Andy, no better way to get a show going on the right foot than gravy training off a rating success such as yourself. So I'll be doing that, and we're going to be talking about all the big games each and every week, but the discussion is going to be driven by you guys, the viewers. You can ask any game. Again, the show is live, so you want a game, doesn't matter what game it is, ask away. We'll talk about it. I'll be joined by all the top college football handicappers at WagerTalk, including Andy. First show is going to be August 21st. It's a small card for week 0, but we want to break those games down for you. And between then and now, be sure to check out the Power 5, of course, each and every day here on the YouTube channel. And I'll be doing some bonus college football content as well to get you guys all excited for the upcoming season.
Love it, Brian. You're number 2 in units. Nice job, man. That's bragging rights, man. Like, I know we catch a lot of flack. Like people are like, why are you all number 1 in everything? Listen, number 2 over the course of this year. That's bragging rights. So congratulations to you. Tell everyone what you have up for clients. Yeah,
number 2 in net profit for the year. We've only had 1 month all year where we finished down units. We had a winning record that month. It was just down a couple of units. So really, with the exception of those first couple of weeks of May, it has been a great 2025. And I am up 61.6 units since May 24th. That is number 1 during that time. I will point that out if you guys will allow me to. And as you see on the screen, if you want to get on board for the next week, you can do so. 7 days for just $69. Andy, I don't think you need to be a math major to understand that is less than $10 per day to get every pick over the next week from me. I do have one play. If you just want to sample, if you're not ready to invest for a full week, that's okay. This deal is not going away tonight. If you want to just try me out, get tonight's play. We do have one play in Major League Baseball, a rare odds maker's error. And we always preach respect for the people on the other side of the counter, but I believe the wrong team is favored in one Major League Baseball game tonight, and I have taken advantage. WT.buzz/BP is where you go to get that, of course.
Well, dude, we need them to screw up.
Yeah, I know.
That's how we make money. Okay.
I mean, I look down. I mean, I don't know about you. I look up and down the Major League Baseball screen. Generally speaking, I'm like, yeah, that line's fine. Yeah, that line's fine. Yeah, that line's fine. And you have to dig some of, but there's one line that I even use the term egregious, I think, on today's card.
I love it. Bryan Power, everyone. College football right around the corner, and we're going to get you ready for it every Thursday at 1 o'clock with The Blitz. Thanks for joining us, Brian. Have a great Monday. Appreciate you. All right, guys, let's do a 7-day recap. Feedback has been you like when we talk about bankroll management. So let's go over some specific numbers here. I'm kind of looking at it's almost like a fresh start, or not a fresh start, just a new start with this tax bill. I know the tax bill doesn't go into effect till 2026, but we're trying to put in place the systems to where we can still make money on this. And what we've talked about is lowering the volume and betting more on our bets. So this is what we're doing for myself and clients. 2 weeks ago, we only had 10 plays and we went 7-3. So we said, let's do the same thing. So last week, we did the exact same thing. We had 10 plays. And guess what? We went 7-3 again. We went plus 5.88 units if you're using the WagerTalk percentages, 4.5 units if flat betting 2%. I'll be honest, guys, I've upped how much I bet per play. I'm at about 3%. If that's too much for you, I get it, but that's what I've been experimenting with, and it's worked really, really well. You can see golf went great. Dan comes through in the clutch with a 2-0 sweep in lacrosse. Cross-sport parlay with 1-0, and MMA was the big loser this week, 2-3. And Kevin Holland and Dakota Ditcheva. Turns out there were things going on outside the octagon that we just did not know about, and that is a real bummer. So we talk about, I have 3 different parts of really my investments. I've got crypto. I'm holding strong on XRP and Bitcoin. I'm actually hoping for a little bit of a dip on XRP so I can get back in, but right now we're holding. And then most of my investments are in NVIDIA and Palantir. We're holding those. Again, I am not a financial advisor. I am just a dude talking on the internet. But I'm waiting for some more dips in the stock market to buy. Now's not a time to buy. Now's a time to just enjoy the profits that are coming in. But as far as sports betting, I'm really loving the lower volume. If we can keep adding these 4% and 5% each week, it's going to be really, really exciting what this bankroll is going to look like at the end of 6 months. So if you're interested in 7 days, I got to be honest, this low volume, this works out really well for you guys because on days that we don't have plays, we pass and you get that day added on. So like I was looking at our plays, I think we only had plays on 3 days last week. So 7-day pass, you get 3 days of profit this week, and then you move on to the next. But we do have another special that's going on. It is for a little bit more long-term. If you get the month of August, and it starts today, you get the rest of July for free. So we're looking at 11 days, 10 days still to go in July. Those are free. So you jump on board now, pick your handicapper, you get it for $2.99. And then you get the rest of July for free. So if you're interested in jumping in and getting some of these specials, these early college football lines and these NFL lines, these futures, start now. That way you get the rest of July for free. So get August. It's heating up at WagerTalk. We are getting ready for some of these sports that are getting ready to kick off, and you can take advantage with Get August and get the rest of July free. It's a $198 bonus value. So take advantage of that. We run these specials all summer long. So looking forward to having a good rest of the month in July and an even better August. All right, let's bring in Dan. Dan, first off, I'm starting my fast tomorrow evening. So if we talked about it last week. So if y'all want to join, I'm starting mine tomorrow evening. You're flying back to the East Coast. You ain't doing it fast.
No fast for me. I get to indulge in all of my favorite East Coast treats. So getting some pizza, cheesesteaks, all that. So no, I'll be basically doing the anti-fast, Andy.
Okay.
Anything that you lose, I am sure to find on the East Coast. But don't fret. I will still be here with you, cheering you on along the way, producing the show. So I got your back, Andy. I can't ride with you on this one, unfortunately. Maybe
take
next.
pictures. Take pictures of the show
and torture
make sure
you.
Show them to me live, so it hurts
a
little bit worse. Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I was at the Fresh Market yesterday, and I got mushroom infused honey.
Special mushroom infused, or
it's supposed to be the ones that make your mind a little bit more clear. The word to describe the taste is strong.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be.
Bit.
I'm all for mixing the sweet with the savory. I'm just not sure of the umami like flavors that you would be getting from a mushroom infused honey. Like that's just got to be like you take a shot of it and just like when you do a shot of like apple cider vinegar, you just get it down, you move on about your day, right?
Yeah, so I drink hot water and cayenne pepper and lemon and honey all day long. That's like my drink of choice.
Oh, so you're used to disgusting stuff. So you're used to.
It's divine. It's divine. But I went a little too hard on this. I put a little bit too much in. It was like, whoa, that's a little strong.
Wow.
All right, let's Have. Yeah, it's lion mane mushroom. See, Dan, people know about this. I'm late to the party.
I guess it's a thing.
Yes, absolutely. So, all right, let's talk our next NFL season win total We're going down to the Bayou. We're going down to the cap hell riddled New Orleans Saints. This was rough. I got to be honest. I thought Cleveland's research was going to be rough. I knew the Giants was going to be rough. This one might top them all. So the New Orleans Saints season win total is set at 5.5. I want to read you what Pro Football Focus ranks their units. Okay. What do they say in the NFL? You got to have a good quarterback and you got to make the other team's quarterback uncomfortable. Okay. Their quarterback situation is ranked last and their defensive line is ranked last.
Yep.
Not off to a great start. Offensive line, are they good? No, 22nd. Running backs, well, you got Kamara's turning 30. They rank 21st. Wide receivers are 23rd with the healthy Olave, who's coming off of multiple concussions, and then the 20th in the secondary. They're off season. They have no cap space, so they just signed some guys to some one-year deals. They did sign Chase Young to 3 years, and then their quarterback retires. This is a rough one. What did you take away when looking up the Saints?
Woof is the takeaway when looking at the New Orleans Saints. I mean, you laid it out there perfect. One thing I will say, I'm not one of the people who like worships at the altar of PFF, because I do think, maybe they're waiting a little bit too much of what we saw last year. Because I think the offensive line is a little bit better than ranking them 22nd. So there is something to improve upon there. But as far as the defense is concerned, not only are they old, not only are they kind of run down, they're also having a complete schematic change heading into this year, Andy. They're going now to a 3-4 defense. So the onus is going to be on the linebackers a little bit more. And, your best defensive player is probably a Cam Jordan, who should probably be heading to a retirement home soon, right? Like, there's not much tread left on the tires of this New Orleans Saints defense. And that's what concerns me. Yes, Fatoni, or Fat One, if you will. Year 20 of Cam Jordan incoming here. Here's the thing to be excited about, I guess, Andy, if you want me to play a little devil's advocate here for the New Orleans Saints, is you do have Kellen Moore coming to town, who notoriously works terrific with quarterbacks. However, when you look at the track record with quarterbacks, all of the quarterbacks that he worked with, Andy, were at least talented before he got there. He got to work with Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, and wins a Super Bowl last year with Jalen Hurts. Now he gets to work with Tyler Show. He gets to work with Spencer Rattler and Jake Hayner. I'm not sure if I'm so excited for Kellen Moore, but Kellen probably wouldn't have taken the job if he didn't at least think he could build something here, right? I don't think Rome will be built in a day. There's no way you can talk me into betting over on the New Orleans Saints. That's where it ends for me. If you Saints fans need something to feel a little bit optimistic about, you have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL as far as strength of schedule goes. Your 3 out-of-division opponents are super easy. You could stack some wins at the back end of the season, but I just don't think year one, new head coach, new defensive schematics, at least to start the year, it's going to be pretty rough for this team. Sure, they could turn it around. Sure, they could find some building blocks to build on towards the end of the season, but I think it might be too late to find 6 wins here on the schedule for the New Orleans Saints. So for me, it'll be under. They'll win 2 big games, then flop, Eric. Yeah, like they did last year. They were the best team in the NFL to start the year. And then
I like the follow. Big means any. Just any.
Yeah,
game.
big means any. Yeah, under 5.5 for me for the New Orleans Saints. I think better days are to come. I just don't think they're going to be coming in the first 2-3 months of the season.
Their schedule is all dependent on how can they finish strong, because they start off with a lot of L's. The Cardinals, the 49ers, at Seahawks, at Bills. Okay, home Giants, potential. Patriots, at Bears, Bucks, at Rams, at Panthers, bye. Here's where you could rip off some wins. Home Falcons, I'm not sure about that. At Dolphins, if the Dolphins have imploded at that point, that could be a disastrous situation.
Little sneaky
at Bucks, no way. Home to Panthers. I think the Panthers are much better this year. But then you got home Jets. Do we know what the Jets are going to be? And then at Titans and at Falcons. And if that game is meaningless for Atlanta, you could have some. But I think the morale morale on this team could be a little rough to start the year. And Tyler Show is a few weeks older than Trevor Lawrence, which is just like it just doesn't sound right. I'm with you. I think this could be the worst team in the league. They're gonna be fighting.
Honestly,
for it.
I think a cool way to maybe bet this team is take them to be the final winless team. I think because you mentioned it there, the schedule to start is pretty brutal. So when you compare this team to other teams out of the gate, yeah, there's some teams who might stumble out, but new head coach, new defensive schematics, like the reasoning lines up and the schedule lines up, even with an easier schedule padded towards the back end, for this to be the final team to be winless. I don't think they go 0-16, 0-17, but I do think this could be a team. If you want a plus money way to bet this team, take them as the final team to be winless through the season. And if you want to know what the NFL thinks about them, this is one of the only teams who doesn't have a single primetime game. So we will not be subjected to seeing the New Orleans Saints a single time in primetime this year. So that tells you what the NFL thinks about the prospects here of the New Orleans Saints.
The sneaky thing to do with them, believe it or not, and we're going to track the in-season win totals. If they get off to a horrific start, when they get to that bye week, if they have their win total like 3.5 or 2.5, like just something ridiculously low, you could look at them because they're going to be
there's 3 wins on the back end of that season for sure.
I agree. You know, so but pre-flop, it's definitely an under on this one.
Yeah.
Under on this one. So, all right, thanks for joining us. We're treading lightly today with baseball, so be careful with some of those lines out there. There's still some really good spots though, but take advantage of this August special. You get August and you get the rest of July. It's the best special that we got. That is site-wide. Go to the deals page and check that out. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Tell us who you like in today's baseball games. We'll start doing some more swag giveaways here coming up soon. We got to do some more guess the scores later on in this week. So thanks for joining us. Good luck on all your plays. We'll see you tomorrow for $5 Tuesday. Take care.